94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. Juan Castillo with you. This is the workforce. You know, every once in a while, we got to stop the music and talk about some important things that are happening in our community. And I have with me here today, this afternoon, Elise Nunez. She's an LPC, and also Pastor Michelle M. Mercado. And we're going to be talking about the emotional abuse that women go through. Men go through it too, in relationships and so forth and so on. They're going to have a conference that we'll talk more about that in a little while in terms of when it's when is it happening. So pretty much at this point, I'd like to turn it over to the pastor. Pastor, tell us, what is this all about? Tell me about this emotional abuse that happens to women.
Well, thank you, first of all, for having us here. We truly appreciate it. And we're going to have a virtual workshop webinar. And what does that mean? What does that look like? It's going to be something similar like with you. They'll be able to see us. We won't be able to see them, right? But the virtual conference is about, the title is W.O.W, W-O-W, and it's about women's worth. And a lot of women don't feel that they are worthy, that they're smart enough, that they're good enough, that they're strong enough after being in a relationship of being mentally, physically, or emotionally abused verbally, right? With the things that are being said to them, with the things that are being done to them. And sometimes, people don't realize that you don't have to be abused by a beating, but words are stronger than a beating. And so we're going to have 3 speakers, myself and 2 others, and we're going to have one that's going to share her testimony, her personal testimony of living with a narcissist and for 18 years, who was living a double life. And so a lot of different things came about. And so after giving all her love to him, doing everything for him, it wasn't enough. 18 years later, they get a divorce and she finds herself lost. And this was a Christian woman who believed in God and prayed to God and trusted God. And yes, we are to do all of that. But at the same time, God gives us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and discernment that there are times that we need to make some decisions that they may not seem right to some people, but we need to have, God doesn't want us going through abuse. He doesn't want us to be, beaten down with the words of someone who's a pathological liar or someone who's just sick in the mind. God wants us to be able to love each other with the love that he has for us. So we'll have the 3 viewpoints, the personal, the spiritual, and then the clinical, which is from Elise Nunez that will be joining us. And she's here with us today.
Yeah.
Hello.
So let's go to her. So Ms. Nunez, so tell me, obviously a lot of us in the community, we tend to, while we're going through something like this, male and female, right? Mm-hmm. We go to our family, right? And it becomes complicated, right? Because you go to the family once, then you go to the family twice, mm-hmm. and then probably by the 3rd and 4th time, your family is sick of you. It's like, we keep telling you that you need to leave him or leave her, and you don't do it. And I don't understand why you're still with him or her. And I'm finished. I don't even want to talk about it no more. Just leave me alone. Do whatever you want to do, right? So Elise, tell me, how do you get over that stigma that women and men have when they're being abused, especially emotionally, right? When there's no scars, right? There's no scars. How do you talk to someone and try to get them out of that mind frame? Yes.
Well, as a Latina therapist in our Latino community, in our culture, like you said, in the minority community, when we're going through situations in our life, we are taught to keep that in the home, right? So going outside the home is like something that we're taught not to do. Part of my process as a licensed therapist is to support the individual and create a trusting environment where the individual is comfortable enough being able to disclose information. Sometimes going to the family can be an issue if our family itself is a trigger, right? So that's to take into consideration. We might go to our family for support. I'm a victim of an abusive relationship myself. And every time I went to my family, like you said very clearly, Juan, it got to the place where they were like, we can't do this with you anymore. We can't help you. But that's because I did not have an understanding. And part of it was some issues from even my home upbringing that were issues for me growing up that affected, how I dealt with relationships, right? So part of the process for me, again, as a therapist, is helping the client feel comfortable, feel safe. That is my first and the first thing I focus on is helping them feel safe and that they can trust me enough to unload everything that they're going through. and that everything that they share with me, they're sharing in confidence and in a safe space.
Right.
So that's my focus, helping them feel safe, because they're not feeling safe in these
Absolutely.
situations. Right?
Absolutely.
And a lot of victims feel
yes,
judged. So
yeah, you said they feel judged. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So Pastor, I mean, you decided to do this, right? So that folks can come into a safe environment. And that's mainly the reason. Now you're with the Light of Hope Ministries, right?
Yes.
And tell us about the date of the event.
So the virtual conference is going to be on Saturday, August 1st.
All right.
It's going to be from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So it's going to be 4 hours. It's going to be via Zoom, and they will be able to go onto our website, Light of Hope Ministries, and they'll be able to register there and pay there. And once they do that, we'll send them the information, the link to sign in and on the Zoom for that day. We're also going to send them material, because this is all about providing them the tools. We're going to send them material personally, spiritually, and professionally, right? So that they have this information. So if they need to call someone, so if they need someone to talk to, if they're, feeling a specific way, they have something in front of them that will remind them about this virtual conference, to strengthen them, to encourage them, to remind them that they're not alone, right?
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, listen, I want to thank both of you for coming on. Just in doing this, I think there are some folks out there that probably feel like, wow, they understand how I'm feeling right now, right? So maybe if they, they attend this conference, they could be in a better position to find someone to help them, and to kind of open up to someone and provide that safe environment that, Elise talked about. So I want to thank both of you for coming on. Good luck with the event. Again, it's Saturday, August 1st from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. is via Zoom. You can go to Light of Hope Ministries. .com, I guess, right? Your website. Yep.
It's actually LOHministriesNB.org. So that's
.org. Okay.
Yep, LOHministriesNB.org.
Very good. Again, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having us, Juan. Have a great day.
Yeah. Juan Castillo is the workforce on the Rhythm.